Well, guess who? Republican Senator Orrin Hatch says Democrats are fighting. No, not Republicans, but says they're fighting the American people. Just a short time ago, Senator Orrin Hatch went on the record. We have some excitement here on Capitol Hill with health care. I don't know what's going to happen, whether it's going to be voted in or not, but you have been quoted as saying that no matter what happens, it's going to be war. Now, you backed off a little bit, but what did he mean?
Well, I think, look, if this bill passes, you know, the Democrats really aren't fighting Republicans. They're fighting the American people. The vast majority of them are against this bill. I've been all over the country, and people come up to me and say, vote that bill down. We don't want that bill. Over and over and over, I hardly ever get anybody who says, we want that health care bill that the Democrats have. They know it's loaded with all kinds of costs, all kinds of, what's got 1,700 new federal programs within it. I mean, my gosh, we don't need a 2,700-page bill, actually 2,700 and probably 11 pages bill to tell us what to do. But people are very upset about it.
All right, it's the people will be upset, but then there's also the sort of the collateral issues that are there ruffled feathers, or will there be ruffled feathers here on the Hill in terms of, you know, will people be able to, the Republicans and Democrats truly be able to work together on something that has, people have really drawn the line in the sand on this one.
They have. Republicans are very upset about this. And the Democrats are upset too. And if they push this bill through the way they're trying to do it, and that is by coming up with a phony rule over there. It's not phony, they can do that. They can come up with a rule that they try and get everybody to vote for, and then that deems the Senate bill passed by the House. Not only is that unconstitutional under Article 1, Section 7 of the Constitution, but that's a phony way of getting around this problem, because they don't want their people to directly vote for this awful bill, because they know that the American people are going to hold it against them. There are going to be a lot fewer Democrats if they vote for this bill this way.
All right, this slaughter rule would originate in the House.
Oh,
You're
sure.
Obviously in the Senate.
In the House rules.
House rules. What are the Senate Democrats thinking or saying? Are they saying, you know, that's a good idea, or no, don't do that one?
Well, I can't imagine anybody thinking they're going to get away with that. I mean, they'd have to think the American people are absolutely stupid to not understand that voting for the rule passes that bill. It's the same as a vote for the bill, except that it's illegal under Article 1, Section 7 of the Constitution, which says that you really have to vote up and down on these bills in order for the President to sign them.
All right. If the bill, if the House accepts the Senate bill, it goes up Pennsylvania Avenue, it gets signed by the President, comes back for a reconciliation, is there any maneuver or thought in your mind that there's going to be any sort of maneuvering or movement on the House, on the side of the Senate, Democrats, Republicans, to do what the House wants?
Well, first of all, the House members are relying on the Senate, you know, passing the reconciliation bill. In other words, they came up with another reconciliation bill to try and correct the Senate bill that they're unwilling to vote on. In other words, that they vote for a rule.
So you're laughing at it?
Oh, yeah.
You think they're getting taken?
Well, there's no guarantee that the Senate is going to do what they want them to do. The Senate's going to have to go through some very, very trying times in order to, you know, assuming that bill passes the House, assuming they get 216 votes. And I don't think they have those. If they had those, they'd have brought it up by now. Can you imagine this bill? Look, this president is going to have the budget under his leadership go up $8.5 trillion over the next 10 years.
Did you tell him that?
Oh, yeah.
What does he say to you when you tell him that?
Well, I haven't told him that personally, but I've told him in very indirect ways. And the fact of the matter is, the deficit's going to go up double in the next 10 years, and triple in double in the next 5 years, and triple in the next 10 years.
They must not think that's true.
Well, they know it's true. No, their own budget says it's true. And let me tell you, their own actuary says that this is going to cost the American taxpayers $200 billion more. And yet they play these phony games to hide all the rotten things that they've done in here, like like these special deals for people. You're talking about a $10 billion deal for Vermont of all things. I mean, $500 million for Massachusetts. You know, I mean, it's unbelievable. There's like 870,000 people who will get Medicare Advantage, while all the rest of the country doesn't get the benefit of that. You're going to have millions of seniors that really are going to be left out in the cold while they take care of a few special Democrat places. I mean, the American people have counted on this bill as a travesty. It's going to cost an arm and a leg. It's going to double and triple our national debt. It's going to cost $500 billion in new taxes. Medicare is going to lose $500 billion, and they're going to use that to start another entitlement program. There are going to be 1,700 new federal programs that the Secretary of Health and Human Services can call and do? I mean, my gosh, it doesn't take any brains to realize these people are nuts. I'm sorry to be so harsh on my colleagues, but they know it. They know it. They've come to the conclusion if they don't pass the bill, they get killed. If they do pass it, it's probably better for them. I don't think so. I think if they do pass it, the American people are never going to get over it. And there's no guarantee that the Senate is going to do what they want to do on reconciliation. There's no guarantee on that. And they better not rely on the Senate to make the changes that they want because they're unwilling to vote for the original bill over in the House. They're counting on the Senate living up to...
and you don't think that's going to happen?
Well, you never know, but all I can say is that the Senate is a big mess. Now, and, you know, there's just one other thing. This bill is going to allow taxpayer financing of abortions. I mean, look.
Well, they say no.
Oh, come on.
That's what I'm
come on.
I mean, and we have the Stupak people who want stricter language. The House Democrats say no. You think that they are trying to slip it in?
Of course they are. The fact of the matter is there will be ways that people will, you have to buy a program under this federal program, under this bill. And almost all of those programs will have some financing for abortion. No, there's no question about it. We just got a letter from the Catholic bishops that make it very, very clear, if you read that letter, that there's no way that this bill will not provide federal financing for abortion, something that even pro-abortion people are against.
Why didn't the Senate, when it initially debated the bill, simply adopt the Stupak language? What was the holdup? Because that would have prevented a lot of this situation now.
Well, because they know darn well that they're going to slip in abortion here.
So you think that this was the part of the Democratic plan in the Senate from day one is they didn't want the Stupak language because that meant that there was a way they could slide some federal funding for abortion?
I'll tell you what the problem is. Under the Hyde Amendment, which we always pass on an appropriations basis, that Hyde Amendment says that taxpayers should not be saddled with funding abortion. But that's on an appropriations basis. If this bill passes, it doesn't need appropriations. And so this bill allows the incipient increase of abortion paid for in part by the federal government. And they know it, and they're trying to get away with that. And you know, anytime you see Barbara Boxer and Nancy Pelosi, who are two of the most pro-abortion people in the history of the country, who think this is good language, it kind of tells you whose side they're on.
Senator, thank you, sir.
Okay, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.